Spiritual Warfare, Part 1. I was awakened by someone pounding on the door. I looked at my watch. It was midnight. I stumbled to the door, and when I opened it, several policemen pushed their way in. They could see that I was upset with this harassment. One smiled and said, "Brother, we're just doing our job. Don't make it hard." They looked around for something to confiscate, but realized they'd already taken everything of interest in their last visits. Looking at me, they said, "You will come with us now." This short video is brought to you by Echoland Farm Ministries, a division of Edifying Services Publishing, providing books to build a better life and resources to spark inner spiritual transformation. I was being harassed for sharing the gospel in this Middle Eastern country. This was real spiritual warfare, Satan trying to stop the spread of the gospel. It was another opportunity to apply the things I learned in Ephesians 6:10-18. Actually, spiritual warfare is an everyday aspect of being a Christian. Satan is always trying to trip us up, just as he did Eve in the garden. But unlike Eve, we can stand against the wiles of the devil if we keep on the full armor of God. As Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the whole armor of God, so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." And the devil basically has only three wiles: lies, fear, and violence. These are exactly what the devil used on Eve. First he lied. "You will not certainly die if you eat this fruit," the serpent said to Eve, Genesis 3:4. And then he used fear, insinuating that God was withholding something good from them, saying, "God knows that when you eat from it, you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And third, he instigated violence. Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. But if we know Satan's three wiles, lies, fear, and violence, it helps us be prepared for his future attacks. In my case, the lie Satan had for me was that policemen are your enemy. His desire was for me to fight with them in my thoughts, in my emotions, in my words, in my actions. He wanted me to be afraid of the police, of being sentenced to the prison, of being expelled from the country. And he wanted the police to use violence, beating me as they did others, torturing me as they did sometimes. But knowing the devil's wiles, in my arrest, I used against him the three main weapons that God gives us to defeat Satan. First of all, praise, thanking him in the situation. Second, prayer, asking God to work in the lives of these policemen and save them. And third, obedience to what I know to be true, forgiving the police for harassing me. There were many victories God gave because we used the armor. Here are just two. The outcome of the trial resulting from our arrest was a clear statement of our freedom to share the gospel, exactly the opposite of what Satan wanted. And second, the last time I was arrested, I had to sit with a dozen policemen waiting for the captain to come and decide what to do. As we were drinking tea, one policeman asked me, "Tell us, what do you really believe?" I then had 2 hours to share the gospel with these men who would never otherwise have had an opportunity to hear the gospel. I call this spiritual judo, taking the attack of the enemy and turning it against him. In part 2 of this video, we will look at the description of the armor of God found in Ephesians 6:10-18. And we will look at how to put on and use every piece of this armor, so we can stand whatever evil day comes. And if you want to learn more about spiritual warfare, first watch spiritual warfare videos 2 and 3 on this channel. Then get a copy of this book from Amazon. You can find it under S.M. Wibberley.